Folder. There we go. Hi everybody, this is
everyone.
Kind of a new thing for us. So today this is going to be a volume introduction. Myself and Mr. Manug are probably going to do the majority of the grade 8 math going forward. So you'll probably see one of us most days. I know for some of the classes you've already seen volume. However, some of the classes haven't, so we're going to start with volume. Okay. Today we are going to start with some I can statements.
So for this lesson, we are just going to do 3 of them. I can identify base shape of a 3D model. I can determine the formula for volume for cube, rectangular prism, triangular prism, and cylinder. And most importantly, orientation does not affect volume.
Okay, we're going to concentrate on 4 shapes. The first one being a cube. Okay. The second one being a rectangular prism. The third one being a triangular prism. And the fourth one is a cylinder. Okay? So bear with us. We're going to adjust the camera slightly for a moment, and then we're going to continue.
All right. So let's start with the first one. Let's look at cube. Now, just by looking at this cube, what do you think the base area would be? Sorry, I meant what is the base shape, I mean. So, my base shape would have to be a square. Okay. Now, for my rectangular prism, what do you think my base shape would be? It's a rectangle. And then for my triangular prism, what do you think my base shape is? If you guys guess triangle, that is correct. And then last but not least, what's my base shape for my cylinder? If you got circle, well done. These are the base shapes that you need to remember for these 3D shapes. Okay? Now let's just review area very quickly. For a square, do you remember what the formula for an area of a square is? So, to find area of a square, we're just going to go side times side. How about a rectangle? Do you know what the formula for the area of a rectangle? If you guess area equals length times width, good job. Now for a triangle, what do you think the area of a triangle is? If you said base times height divided by 2, that is great. You just have to remember that for base and height, my base and height must be perpendicular. So I'm just going to quickly highlight these ones. Now for a circle, we learned this in grade 7. How do you find the area of a circle? So my area of a circle is area equals pi times r times r.
Okay, or as you may have heard it in other classes, pi r squared.
Now you're probably wondering, Mr. Manug, Mr. Gadet, why would I need to find area for my base? Because to find volume is really simple. To find volume, this is the area. This is the formula for it. You need to multiply the base area with my height. Okay. So for a cube, we said that our base shape was a square, and we also saw that the area of a square is side times side. So all you have to do is just put it in here, side times side, and then you multiply by your height. But what you notice is that, Mr. Manug, for a cube, all of the sides are the same. So we can replace height with side, can we? So for a cube, it will have to be side times side times side. Do you want to continue, Matt?
Sure.
I will color it.
For a rectangular prism, we said that the area of our base was a rectangle. Okay, so the base area, in order to find it for a rectangle, was length times width. Okay, and then once again, we times it by our height. Okay, so in this case, for a rectangular prism, we're going to have length times width times height.
I'll take the triangular prism.
Okay,
Now, for the triangular prism, we just have to be really careful because we said that our base area of a triangular prism is a triangle, and we know that it is base times height divided by 2, right? But do you... Oh, 1 second, sorry about that. Do you think that these two heights are the same? If you say no, then you're correct. So I would usually not multiply it by height. I would just say I'm going to multiply it by the length. Okay? But length meaning the height of the prism. Come on, you can take over now.
okay, so for our cylinder, okay, we had said that the base area for our cylinder was our circle. Okay, so the way to find the area of a circle, as we had said before, was pi times r times r. Okay, so r squared in this case. Okay, so if I have r squared, it's not r2, it's not r times 2, it's r times r. Okay, so we have pi times r times our height again. Okay, and in this case, the height is how tall our cylinder would be.
So just by looking at how we're coloring all of these formulas, you would notice that everything is the same except for which one? My base area is different, right? And my base area is different depending on what my base shape is.
Yes, what your shape, what your prism is. So in this case, what I've told my classes, and I think it's kind of good for all classes, you stand your shape on the face that it is named for. So if we have our shapes, okay, if we have our 4 shapes, okay, in the case of a cube, we stand it on a square, okay? In a rectangular prism, we stand it on a rectangle. It doesn't matter which rectangle, we'll get to that in a second. For a triangular prism, I stand it on my triangle, and for a cylinder, I stand it on the circle.
Hey Matt, you can take one of your Cokes and ask the kids, do you think the volume changes if you change the orientation? You think so?
We could do
Yeah,
that.
just,
Sure.
yeah, see.
Hold on 1 second. So, because we're in Mr. Godet's room, and this is easy to do, if I have a can of Coke, hold on 1 second here. Okay? If I have, hello again. If I have a can of Coke, do you think that the volume of this can of Coke changes if I have it like this, or if I have it like this? Okay? Do you think that there's more or less volume here versus here? Okay. If you answered no, because since this can is not open, okay, whatever is inside, it doesn't change, the Coke can doesn't explode when I change, okay, so there's the same volume here as here, okay? It's the same if I had this eraser, okay? Does the shape or the volume of this eraser change if I have it this way or this way? It's the exact same. Okay, so it doesn't matter what face I stand it on, the volume will be the same.
So that's our lesson for today. We are definitely going to attach, a few links on Google Classroom, a few worksheets that you can work on. We will go through with them with you at another
At a later
time.
date.
Yes.
You can also do Khan Academy on this stuff if you want some extra practice. And for my 8.5s, you can also look at Knowledge Hook or Khan Academy, whichever you would prefer. Okay, hopefully this has helped your understanding of volume, and we look forward to doing these for you in the future. See ya.
Bye.